woke up this morning and I prayed to the Most High. The sun is shining so bright. I'm blessed to live this life.
Yahawashi, blessed be Yahawah, blessed be Yahawashi.
Shalawam.
Shalawam.
Welcome to the Helpmeets.
Shalawam. Because this is where the Helpmeets hang out.
Welcome to the Helpmeets Hangout. Because this is where the Helpmeets hang out. Hey.
Because this is where we hang out, and this is where we be at, and this is where we hang out, and this is where we see it. She just waiting on me to say it. Like if I couldn't not do it if I wanted to.
Because at first I used to be like, why are you remixing it? And then now I'm just like, this is the tradition. You gotta remix it. I'm trying to find my notes. So y'all, Abarriyah is gonna start off with that beautiful, beautiful precept. You know, the foundational one.
I will. This is 1 Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahawah. If any man minister, let him do it as with the ability which Yahawah giveth. That Yahawah in all things will be glorified through Yahawashi HaMashiach, to whom be praised in dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Yes.
So everything we say want to be the oracles of the Most High. Everything we do and say want to be pleasing unto the sight of Yahawashi HaMashiach. Everything we do and say want to be for the glorification of the Most High, because it's only of the ability that the Most High gives us. We're only able to do what we do good in this podcast because of Yahawashi HaMashiach. So we're gonna praise the Most High.
Hopefully that wasn't too loud. So, you want to talk about the topic, or you want me to?
I heard a little ding. I thought it was an instrument, but she always put me on the spot.
I'm just saying. I mean.
Sure. So today we're gonna be talking about. Do you want to do it?
Oh, me.
We're going to be talking about the art of submission. Y'all are probably like, what? Art of submission? So I'm going to give the floor to Lily so she can elaborate.
Okay. I was trying to. All right. Hold on, y'all.
I got you. So the art of submission, we're going to be talking about basically the beauty in submission, because how it's deemed in today's society, it's deemed as a very negative thing. And we're going to debunk those through spirit today, So we're going to basically get into the beauty of submission.
All praises. So if y'all didn't see the last episode about a woman of substance, I need you to go watch that one first and then come back and watch this so that you kind of have a foundation on what we're trying to build on here. So the woman of substance is going to be learning about the art of submission. And I think the art of submission is like a good, I don't know, what do I want to call it? I don't want to say title, but I'll just say title. It's a good title because it's like, it's something that you're learning to do. Like art is a skill, and it's something that is to be developed. And the woman of substance, she's always evolving. She's always learning. She's always improving, looking and striving for ways just to do better and be better. So learning the art of submission, it's not easy, but it's well worth it. And, throughout time, you're able to, I guess, develop some character through this. Let me see. I'm going to get this preset really quick. Okay. This is Sirach chapter 34 and verse 9 and 10. It says, a man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that have travel is full of prudence. So once you start going through things, you're able to develop and you're able to learn and you're able to understand a lot better what the art of submission is. So I'm going to start with the definition of submission. Submission is the act of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. Submissive. Submissive is ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. So those are the definitions of submission and submissive. Okay. So the four areas that we're going to tap into today is what submission is and isn't, how people view submission, the art of submission and why it's important, and how to tap into our submissive nature. Um, so, Han, to you, Abarriyah, what when you hear the word submission, what is it to you?
Um, obey, like obedience. If I could say one word, it'll be obedience. That's
Okay.
what popped in my mind. Like submission, I related to obedience because let me get the definition of obedience. Because the submission is the action of yielding to authority. So obedience is compliance with an order, request, or law of submission to another's authority. So when I think of submission, I think of obedience, complying with requests that my husband gives me, complying with orders that he gives me. Not saying like, because when we say order, we're not talking about they're screaming, saying, "Hand me this." That's not what's going on. Um, and most importantly, complying with the Most High's orders, His laws, because it
Right.
says compliance with a law to another authority. So ultimately, we're in compliance to Yahawashi laws because it's a law to be submissive. It's a law to reverence your husband. It's a law to have a desire to your husband. You know what I mean?
Con. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
And
Satan is hopping
hopefully,
on my dog, bro.
oh, I was
Over here.
gonna say, hopefully, sisters, if y'all have a second, please, as y'all are listening, drop down in the comments what when you hear the word submission, what do you think? What comes to your mind? Um, Bakan,
What comes to your
um,
mind when you think of submission, Lily?
I don't know. I think of all the things that it's not, which is
Why?
weird. Because I don't know why my mind works like that. I'm like, well, it's not this and it's not that. So I don't know. I would say the same thing: obedience, reverence, conforming to a certain degree as well. Y'all, please. It's very windy, so I don't know if y'all hear that, but like the windows are shaking. So bear with me today. But the Lord is having His way outside. Okay. Um, but yeah, like conforming, submission, reverence, those type of things. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, okay, okay.
All
Um.
praises. I think a
So.
lot of people. Oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you
I
go.
was gonna say we're gonna touch on it today, but I think a lot of people they take submission they they I don't want to say take it out of context, but I think take it out of context. Like they don't really understand what it means to be submissive because they
Yeah.
like to say, "Don't no man run me and tell me what to do. I do what I want to do." Um, Not knowing how beautiful submission is when done decently, order, and in righteousness.
Well, submission isn't only. So let's tap into what submission is not. Okay. Let's get
That's
this
the
out the
spirit.
way first. Let's talk about what submission is not. Submission is not only in a relationship with your husband. Okay. Submission. You submit when you go to work. You submit to somebody over you when you go to work. You submit to these laws when you stop at that stop sign, when you stop at that red light, when you go get your driver's license, when you go fill out and file for a LLC, because if not, Uncle Sam gonna be knocking on your door. You submit in so many other ways that is crazy that people think that submission only works in one type of form with, your husband.
When
So
you were in school, oh, go ahead.
yeah, and I was gonna say, so that's not, it's not true. Submission isn't only
Right.
that way. So
And that's a good perspective because when you in school, you submit to the teacher. The teacher tell you to stop talking, you stop talking. Why?
right.
Because you're being obedient and complying to what she said because she's authority over you.
Exactly.
You submit to your parents. You was under their roof. You did what they said.
Exactly.
So
Obey.
why? So then
Right.
my question would be, why, when it comes to a man saying to do something, it's viewed as it's terrible. When you submit to the man at work, you submit to your teacher, you submit it to your parents, you submit it to. We submit to the white man every day. So why is it when it comes to our men, we be like, nah, I ain't doing what you tell me to do? Why is it a different mindset?
Because we've been conditioned that we don't need our men. We've been
Yeah.
conditioned that we can be it. That goes back to one of our early episodes.
The Willie Lynch
Was
letter.
Neo and Boosie right, or Beyonce and Boosie right, whatever,
Yeah.
whoever it was, were they right that, we should be independent women? They put that stuff in our mind to be that independent. We don't need a man. We don't need da 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 da. And I'm not saying to be dependent on somebody, whereas though your every move is, because you still, well, in a healthy relationship, you still have your independency. You still have time that you're going to take for yourself. But, it's nothing wrong with being in order. Y'all just don't want to be in order. If you don't want to be in order, then say
that.
that. Then say that
I blame
then.
it on the Bible. You just want to do what you want to do.
So I'm going to say some of the things that I think submission is not, and then maybe you can build on top of that if it, triggers anything that comes to your mind. So I said submission is not a burden. Like I said earlier, submission is not always easy. Submission is not slavery. So it's not shut up and do as I say.
Yeah.
It's not that. Submission is not abuse of power. And submission, like I said before, is not only between husband and wife. So those are some of the few things that I had written down.
I don't think of anything else except, that is not a negative thing, which is technically what all you just said. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
think submission is beautiful. Um, and it does go back to one of our earlier episodes. It goes definitely back to the Willie Lynch letter.
Oh
If
yeah.
y'all have not been with us since the beginning, y'all gotta watch the like our episodes. They flow. It's literally like a domino effect. They flow through the spirit. And so, on one of our earlier episodes, we talked about the Willie Lynch letter, and I'm not gonna pull it up and read it, but just briefly gonna just think about it. It said that they would do this on purpose. They will rape the Israelite man in front of his wife and kids, or they will swap and they will, rape her in front of her husband. And because he couldn't protect her or he couldn't defend himself, that would make a woman, the Israelite woman, think, okay, well, I don't need him. I can't depend on him. He can't protect me. He can't even defend himself. So we've been conditioned since slavery days that I don't need a man. I could do it by myself because he wasn't able to protect me then. He wasn't able to defend himself. So why should I listen to him? Why should I depend on him? And y'all don't think that goes way back to slavery? It does. It does. And so I think that's a part of why, and the brother say this all the time, the so-called black woman, she's a god in this world. Esau, he puts the so-called Israelite woman, not the so-called the so-called black woman on a pedestal, like the women they make more, the women, the most high set up to where Esau has just made the Israelite woman feel like she can do better by herself and she can do whatever she want to do, she can say whatever she want to say, and she ain't gonna who gonna do something about it, you know what I mean? And so these are things that's been set up to condition us to stray away from our heritage and to stray away from who the Most High has called us to be. So I think an important part of being, we'll wait to get on it. Like, I ain't gonna jump the gun.
Go ahead. Just let it flow.
I was gonna say, so I think an important part of truly learning how to be submissive is you have to come back to the Most High. That's the only way.
Okay, fine. So with that, I'm gonna say, since we touched on what submission is not, that's a good segue into what submission is.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I wrote down submission is trust, discipline, a love language which is honorable, a sign of respect. It's a skill developed over time, a learning curve, meaning that we have to unlearn and relearn. Um, and it's a partnership. You know, some people be like, I want to be in my soft girl era, or, you know, things like that. So that's a part of that. Okay. Submission is a part of your soft girl era. I'm sorry, but it is.
Okay. Now, and why do you think that? Why do you think that submission is important?
Submission is important. Well, I think that I like what you touched on though, but I'll say submission is important because we need order, and if you don't have submission order, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be
Mm,
chaotic. Whatever you do, even if, like I said, at work. So the people at work, you know, your managers, they might give you a task to do, and if you don't submit to that, things in the business won't get done,
right.
or it's just like things are being thrown off, and it's like, okay, well, you're not going to submit, we're going to find somebody else who's going to do what we asked them to
Right.
do, or go above and beyond. So I'll say order for order. And
I agree.
yeah.
Definitely because when you think about the job, it can think about it like this: like we all are here, right, being service to Yahawashi. You know, the scriptures say, 1 Corinthians 12, we all make up the body of Yahawashi. Most High has given us, some of us the same talents, some of us different talents. We all put our brick in a way that the Most High has called us to do, so that we can make up the body of Yahawashi. And like something that Lily says that I always love to hear is, when you go to the bread aisle, there's a million different bread companies and different brands of bread in the bread aisle. And so a lot of us, we have the same talents, but we're all making up the body of Habashah. So you think about when you go to work, you know, if you're not doing your part, then you're not letting that, what am I trying to say? When you're at work and you're not doing your part, things are just going to be out of whack, because the whole team is depending on you to put your brick in so everything can get done and flow in order. So, kind. That's what I was
I,
thinking of.
I would actually add to that, like, the beautiful part that you said is that, you know, we're all making up the body of Yahawah. So when you think about it, okay, if when I'm thinking and my hand is not moving like I need it to, then I'm not gonna be able to pick this up. I can't pick this up. It's not following orders. That means that task that I needed to do is not going to get accomplished because I want to put on some lip gloss, or I want to drink my drink, or I want to eat my food. It's just
Right.
like
You need your
you're
hands
not
to do
playing
that.
your role. You're not doing
Right.
your part. You can't be like, okay, I'm gonna be the eyes, and you don't want to move. You want to be the lips, but you don't want to move. Like, if this is what you want and you are a part of the body, then you have to play your role. You got to be in order. And that takes me back to the order of man and woman, and even how women think that only women have to submit. No, a man has to submit too. And that was to your point, Abarriyah, like, if you don't submit to the most high first, then how you gonna you can't, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring that out really quick.
Kind. I was gonna say, like the sister said, when you think of submission as order, just think about it. If there was no red lights, if there was no green lights, there's no yellow lights, there would be crashes every day. So those
Mm-hmm.
lights are there, and the stop signs, all these different road signs, they're a part to be there so there could be order. If they weren't there, it'd be crashes every day. People be dying, cars be crashing into each other. So you need that order. You need that order in the classroom. You need, and like this, what I was just saying about the employee, I forgot to say, you need order at a job. Because again, if you don't do your part at the job, then you're throwing things out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
Now the whole team is depending on you, and you ain't putting your work in.
Talking
You
about
supposed
I'm
to
on
get
break.
right. You supposed to get this task done, and now and the things just not flowing. They're like the sister said, we're just gonna find somebody else.
Get somebody else to do
So,
it. Okay.
yeah.
Um.
And oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was
No,
gonna
no.
say, and when you think about it, it's kind of saying to the Most High, you don't want to get in line with my laws. I'm gonna find somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, the Most High don't need us.
Yeah. Snatch that candle right from you.
Okay,
You
and we
don't
don't
want to.
want that.
Yeah. Um,
So,
I had 1 Corinthians 11:3. It says, "But I will have you to know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God." Okay, so that is the order. Okay, and of course, under the women, you have the children, and the children, like Abarriyah said earlier, have to submit to your parents when you're in a household. Do what I said, cause this my house. Okay, this my house. But con, yes, that's why I feel like it's important to have um order and submission. So,
um,
oh, a note I had. I said, in submission, you are truly serving the Lord, and it's a start to restoring our nation. So all the things that they have tried to implement within us and have us to think and have us to do and ways to be, especially towards our men and each other. Because as sisters, I submit to my sisters. When my sister is speaking, oh, go ahead and speak. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna listen, because I might can learn something. But it's helping us reverse. If you haven't read Deuteronomy 28, when we are not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, it's things that's going to happen to us. And in submission, we can have some of those things, reversed and not happening to us, which will be the top part of Deuteronomy chapter 28, which are the blessings. So, yeah.
dang, you just made me think about this precept. I have to find it real quick. Oh, that's a spirit. Hold on. Um, okay. Ephesians 5:21. Submitting yourselves one.
That's the precept I was going to. Oh my
That's the
goodness.
spirit. That's the spirit. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Yahawah. So we submit to our sisters. It's like, it's humble. It's humbling. You know what I mean? Like she said, okay, no, you good, sis. Go ahead. You got it. You know what I mean? Um, and some a note I put to, and these notes from you like a while ago, but a note that I put this precept is simply putting down what you are doing to be there for your people, or just being humble when they're correcting you, being humble enough to be like, oh, I can wait, being humble enough to be like, you were right. That's submission.
Yeah.
Did you want to add on to that?
I had Hebrews 13:17. Also, it says, "Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do with it joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." So, submission, take joy in it. Take joy in it, especially when it's somebody, a sister or a brother, your husband, somebody telling you something. Like as a child, your mother like, don't touch that stove. Well, she's watching for your soul. She's watching over you. They may be watching over you. They may be giving you something that can save your life, something that um will have you learn in a different way than having to go through it. So submission, take joy in it. Don't think it's a burden. Don't think like, oh my goodness, I gotta do what he said do. Okay, that might be saving your life, sis. Listen, you never know. So that's it.
I agree. I agree. To let me back up what you said. You said that submission was important for order. I think that it's important for order as well, but I also think it's important because that's how we put our brick in for the Lord. It's a part of how we
Hmm.
do it. This is Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord, Yahawashi, giving thanks to Yahawah and the Father by him. And then verse 23. See, this is the spirit. Let me get 22. Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing Yahweh. And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. So everything that we do, we're doing it unto the Most High. Yahawashi. So when we're being submissive, we are doing that unto the Most High, most importantly, and that's a part of how we work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. Um, and I always when I think of Colossians 3:23 lately, I think of Yahawashi in Matthew 25, when he basically was like separated the right hand from the left hand and was like, okay, the right hand was like, well, when did we ever do this to you? When did we ever clothe you or see you in prison? He was like, well, if you did this to my brother, you did it to me. And so if Christ said that, then everything we do unto our nation, our husbands, we're truly doing it until Yahawashi. And so I think submission is important as well because, ultimately it says a lot about your character. But most importantly, that's how a part of how we can work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. So,
Con.
yeah.
The last precept I had on this was James chapter 4 and 7. It says, submit yourselves therefore to Yahawah, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So when you submit yourself, like Abarriyah was saying, we're submitting ourselves unto the Lord, and that way the Lord can be our defense, our protection, because you've submitted yourself to something way larger than you, way bigger than you. So,
Yeah.
God.
Con is way bigger than us. And I know we touched on this earlier. When we're talking about what submission is and what it isn't, what submission is and what it isn't. And we were talking about people say think it as grievous or it's slavery. We were given those different examples of, we submit when we go to work and things like that. I think a lot of women look at submission as such a negative thing as because truly their mind isn't renewed, and they truly haven't been cleansed. And that's going to flow into our next point. Let me
God.
get this. This is Psalms 119 and 9. Um, It says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way by taking heed thereto according to thy word. So, in order to be cleansed from the traits we used to have in the world, those old habits that we used to have, those things that have been indoctrinated within us, we have to truly be cleansed by the word of Yahawashi. That means we have to come back to the Most High and be cleansed from all these old ways of thinking that we had and put away that old woman truly. Um, and then this Ephesians 4 and 23. I'm starting 22. That you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which after Yahawah is created in righteousness and true holiness. And when you go to the Strong's, conversation means behavior. So basically, you're putting off the old behavior. We have to put off the old behavior, those old ways of talking that we had, those old ways of thinking that we had. We have to put off that old woman totally and truly be renewed with these scriptures. Are you?
That sister brought out some mighty points, y'all. I want sisters down in the comments to write down why it's important to have submission if it's something that you thought about as we were speaking that we didn't get to comment on. Let us know. Share it with sisters. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what you have to say is important and can help another sister. So I would like for y'all to write down why it's important to have submission as well.
Yeah, we want
Before
y'all to
we
engage.
Oh yes, please, please. We not here just for ourselves. We here for y'all. Okay. This is the Helpmeets with
Okay.
S Hangout. Okay.
Yeah.
We are here together and for one another. Before we get into how people view submission, um another thing I wanted to say, submission is not being a fool. Um and I don't know if I want to make that like the last topic we kind of touch on, but it's not just
Being a
being a
doormat.
yes man, a yes woman. Yeah,
Yeah,
a man pleaser. It's not that. So I just wanted to add that as well. Submission is not just being a man pleaser. Um, you still got to stand for truth. You still got to keep the Most High first.
exactly.
And anything going against the Most High, that's something that we don't submit to. Okay.
Exactly.
So,
See,
con.
yeah, that's the spirit. This is Sirach 4 and 22. Accept no person against thy soul. Let not the reverence of any man cause you to fall. So the reverence that we have of our husbands, the reverence that we have of our jobs, the reverence that we have of our sisters, we can't let that cause us to fall. So if there's something that anybody's doing that goes against the Most High, we don't fall in line with that. We still stand up for the Most High, because like David said, who shall stand against? Who shall stand for the Most High? Who shall stand against the evildoers and the workers of iniquity? Who gonna do it? So we still have to be bold as a lion and stand up, like the sister said, for truth and for righteousness. So I just want to add that.
Con. And I know I always bring out the account in Acts chapter 5. So y'all can go read that. I'm not bringing it out, but when you submit yourself to things that are not of the Lord, when you submit yourself and don't speak up, and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna stand by, though that it affects you too.
You
So
get caught
I
out.
do want sisters go to read that. I've brought it out plenty times, but you'll see what happens to that sister and that brother when you submit yourself to things that are not, well pleasing unto the Lord.
Yep.
But I
And that
guess
goes to show.
oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was gonna say, and that goes to see that, and that goes to show. Girl, I'm forgotten now. Dang. Well, dang, I forgot that fast.
It's alright, it'll come back.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, and that just goes to show that the Most High sees everything.
Oh yeah.
So it sees everything. So don't
Right.
think you getting one over on the Lord.
So you can act like you're being submissive. You can act
Right.
like you could be like, "Oh, yes, my Lord, yes, yes, yes," and then you like, he getting on my nerves. I'm not about to go in there and do this, and like the Lord, yeah.
Yeah, your husband actually
And then
did some
you stump your toe, and then you be like, "Dang."
the immediate judgment. Your husband actually did something. You like, yeah, I got you. You go in the kitchen, you mumbling. I was so sick of this man. I was asking me to do stuff, rolling your eyes.
I ain't about to
Once
make
I
this.
sees
I
all
ain't about
that,
to make this damn sandwich. I'm not about to make him no food.
once I sees all that,
No, for real though. And it listen, and you'll know. You'll know. You be like, dang, I got myself a paper cut. Hey, that's the Lord getting up with you on a low level.
yep,
Cause it could have been worse than that.
so
But
could have
I
mercy.
guess we can move to how people view submission, and then we're gonna give the biblical lens, and then we're gonna give the worldly view as well. So for the world, I put, like I said, people be bitter about the word submission. I'm not about to I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. They think it's a burden, which you have no freedom. Like I said before, like slavery. The number one thing that I have heard, and this is throughout different social media platforms, you are a pick me. If you don't know what a pick me is, I'm gonna explain it. So basically, you're doing whatever a man tells you to do in order to be picked. Okay, you're like, pick me. Like all of your behaviors, like I guess would coincide in being chosen. Which, like I said, submission is not being a yes woman. It's not being a woman that's gonna go along with anything. But yeah, and then I said they also view it as a strong no because they refuse to be told what to do. They don't wanna. They don't want to be told what to do. So that's what I think. That's what I have seen, that sisters that um they just don't want to submit. They don't want a man telling them what to do. They don't want um they don't want nobody telling them what to do. Actually, not even brothers. They don't want anybody telling them what to do. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just boils down to them doing what they want to do. Because a lot of people, you'd be surprised. A lot of people know what the Bible says. A lot of people, and that is like even Yahawashi. He said, before the end of the world come, everybody's gonna hear the gospel. There's a lot of people that know that the Bible said to be submissive, but people just don't want to do it. So then when you say, "Well, the Bible said," well, yeah, you're right, but I still, nah, 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 nah. Okay, they just want to do what they want to do.
mm,
And that's why it's important to have the fear of the Lord. Like, they love that's what they let us say. I ain't don't no man control me and run me. They think that we don't have a mind of our own
that's so
and
weird.
that we're just
You
puppets.
thought my husband was going to choose a woman that don't
The
have a
scriptures
mind
say, "Don't
like
give yourself
this?
over to a light woman." So a man don't want a woman that's just gonna be a
A fool.
exactly.
what they call it, bird brain.
Like, we're here to be help me. So if your husband is saying something that don't really seem wise according to scripture, then you're there to be that help me and offer him a different perspective. So that goes to show that you have a voice and y'all are a team. Yes, at the end of the day, whatever decision he makes, it's that's what y'all
It's
doing.
final, right?
Right. But you have a voice and opinion as well. You know what I mean? Like, people think that we're just being pulled up our strings over here.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all what happened one day. This I wasn't married yet. I wasn't married. I didn't know my husband yet. This was like when I was like not fresh in the truth, but I was still living in Georgia. And
Mhm.
sisters, we would go out to camp with the brothers or
Mhm.
whatever. So one day, it was this group. I don't know if it was like I believe it might have been like a group of Christian sisters or whatever, and they were doing something. And a lot of the times, people when sisters are out at camp, and of course brothers are on security and things like that, but a lot of the times people try to, instead of going to the brothers, they try to come and talk to the sisters. So one sister, she came over and she talked to us, and we were like, okay. So they thought that, I guess I'm not going to say what they thought. I'm going to say what I think that they thought. I
Mhm.
think that they thought that we don't know anything, that we aren't studying to show ourselves approved. But baby, you came into the lioness's den, okay? And I'm gonna just say we study to show ourselves approved.
Bloody
So y'all know
scene.
how that ended. It it
Bloody
it
scene.
ended like, okay, baby, why did you even come over here? You thought that we don't know what we talking about? You thought that we just following these men just
Right.
because? Like, I don't know what you thought you was gonna come over here and encounter. We aren't those kind of women. We are built up through the spirit. We have studied to show ourselves approved. We have studied before we met our husbands. Some people learn with their husbands, but before I met my husband, I was studying, reading, fasting, and that's all praises to the Most High. That's not saying I'm not giving myself
Mhm.
a pat on the back or anything like that. I'm saying that because we are not light women. We are not women that are just la di da di da, head in the sky. Like, we're not that. We
Yeah.
know what we talking about. Like,
La di da da.
no, I'm just saying, like,
Like we've been manipulated or something.
yeah, to be submissive. Like, no, I fear the
Like
Lord.
they,
No,
yeah,
I
it's
I like order.
okay.
Why wouldn't you want to be in order?
I like
Why you
following the
don't
most
want
high
somebody
laws.
leading you? Exactly. Why wouldn't you want somebody leading you who's being led by the Lord? I don't get that.
And that's crazy because it be the Christians. Like y'all say y'all Christians. It's in the
Right.
Bible.
Right.
And I talk to I say I've been saying this a lot lately to my head. When I see brothers teach and I see them bring it out, I just be so mind blown at the scoffers. And I'm not saying I'm talking down on them. It's just crazy. Like it's literally in the Bible. It's that simple.
Yeah,
We're just
you get
literally following the
harassed for
Bible.
reading. You get harassed for reading something that you did not write. I did not write this. You're telling me this my opinion. This not my opinion. This was here long before little old me. I am nothing. I could be here and gone tomorrow. Like, you get
Right.
what I'm saying? And it's still gonna be there. So
Right. It's not gonna
you're
change
not
because the
mad
most
with
high
me.
don't
You need to take it
change.
up with the Lord. I don't know what to tell
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They think
you.
we over here getting emotionally and mentally abused and that we dealing with narcissists and be just being pulled along. Like we're not like foolish women. First of all, we fear Yahawashi shy.
Period.
So we're in order because we fear Yahawashi shy. Because we want
Exactly.
to get the kingdom of heaven.
Exactly.
It's that simple. She
It's
said, "You
is
came
we
into the lioness den, bloody
yeah,
scene. It was a bloody
okay.
scene. I know
Like,
it's a bloody
listen,
scene."
I could have some sisters attest to it that was there that day, baby, because I just couldn't believe that she came over there like that. I just was like, I think that she was looking at us in the scope of, oh, you poor women. Oh, you poor lost simple women. Like, that's how I felt like she was looking at us like, but we was like, we know what we talking about.
Right.
Um
And a
so
lot of people think just because we There's some people that don't agree with camps, and to each his own. But a lot of people think because there are camps and because, like, even people in the world, they think because we're in this truth, we're falling behind man. Because there's a lot of camps. And then sometimes even people in the truth that think because we're in camps or because we congregate with these people that we're just y'all just doing what man say. No, we're doing what the Most High said, and we're congregating with like-minded believers that believe in the same thing. Is that simple?
Right.
And there has to be order in an organization.
Exactly.
Like people make it deeper than
It's
what
a
it is.
congregation. I mean, I know people feel like, oh, it's a camp or whatever, whatever. Yeah, but it's a congregation. We are commanded to congregate. We're commanded to come together on one accord.
Right.
So I don't know the camp perspective, but I don't know. I love being around my sisters. I love seeing the children. I love dressing up for seeing sisters on
Yep.
feast days, and
Me too.
I love it. You know,
And it just goes to show people just do what they want to do because everything that we do, we just follow the Bible. Yes, we're the Israelites, but we follow the Bible. It's that simple. We follow the Bible. The end. Close book.
period.
Um,
So, did you want to get into the perspective of how we view submission as for the biblical lens?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so I said for the biblical lens, I wrote something sisters strive to accumulate to become a better woman in a positive light. It's an accomplishment, sorry, honor and glory. And I guess the example that I had was like Proverbs 31. So that's how
Con.
I feel, as though that's what I was thinking about for the biblical lens is, it's something sisters strive to um develop. It's an art that sisters strive to master. And like I said before, it's not easy. It's not always easy. It's not always, but sometimes you just feel like you're right. Sometimes you just feel like I know deep down, but sometimes you just gotta submit, be okay with it, and see how it works out. But always be there for support. So
Con. So like yeah, I was rereading your notes. Dang, I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
oh, you're okay. But
um, I
yeah,
was
I
going to
feel
say
like that's what
something.
sisters strive to
Oh,
be, that sisters strive to, you know, be more submissive, be more humble, be more meek, be more kind, increasing fruits of the spirit, things like that. And those are
yeah.
the things that's going to help us tap into our submissive nature. So,
Con, and it isn't always easy because there are going to be times, like she said, where you do not agree with that. You think there's a totally different way to do it. Um, you might can feel it burning in your spirit, like I genuinely don't think that's the right thing. But at the end of the day, that's what he said, and so you gotta be okay, all right, and just take it up with the Lord. But at the end of the day, you got to do it, and
mm-hmm.
that's humbling. It's humbling.
Yeah.
I think the main difference with how we view it and how the world view it is that simple. The Bible. We look at it through the Bible. How this can help us train up our children. Like the scriptures. Let me get this. This is Titus. I don't think I'm stealing your precept. I'll just give
Go ahead.
one. It says it's Titus 3 and it's like a 2 and 4 that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. So when you have children, you're teaching your children, the younger women, how to love their husbands, how to be obedient, right? And so I think that's important. I think that plays a part in how we view it. We're doing it to train up the next generation. We're doing it so we can strive to be better. So
Girl, the wind is winding, okay? I don't know if y'all hear that, but that thing
not
like
really, not really.
it's winding, y'all. Oh my goodness. But Khan, that sister brought out a very mighty point. Submission is something that we can pass down to our children. Submission is something that, sisters can look at you and see the difference in you and be like, dang, I wish I had the patience like that, sister. Dang, I wish, but it's something that they can strive to, accumulate, something they can strive to master. It's an art we're learning. And with any art, you have to start somewhere. So,
Um, come. Um, and speaking of art, you want to get into the art?
oh, okay. How do we tap into our submissive nature? What would you say are a few things that we can do to help us tap into our submissive nature, Sister Abarriyah?
One, I think most importantly, knowing who you are according to the Bible, because when you know who you know what the Most High requires of you. You know that the Most High requires a silent and loving woman, a meek and quiet spirited woman, a submissive and loving and reverencing woman. That's what the Most High requires, and we see that all throughout the Bible. So I think it's important to come back to the Bible and just follow the Bible and do what the Bible says. That's simple. And that goes into being renewed in the mind and not doing what the world does and truly being that light. So I'm gonna get two precepts. First Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should shoot forth the praise of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So we're supposed to be set apart and be different and special. And so I think another thing that's really important, what's happening to our submissive nature, is surrounding yourselves with like-minded believers, surrounding yourselves with women that are mature women. There's a lot of childish women. Mature women that are going to hold you accountable. It's going to tell you how it is. Going to cut you up when you out of order and out of line, and it's going to be your sister keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gonna sharpen each other up through this. Y'all gonna provoke one another into good works. Provoke one another to love your husband, to treat your husband better. Y'all are gonna be around those like-minded women. I think that's something important. Those sisters that's gonna hold you accountable, and be your sister keeper. Because birds
God.
of a feather flock together. Let me get that.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Y'all thought that was just a proverb in the world? Nah, the Lord said it first. Okay. And it's Sirach 13:1, also known as Ecclesiasticus. He that touches pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. So the scripture just said if you're hanging out with a proud person, you're gonna be just like that proud person. Because why? Because birds of a feather flock together. We're gonna skip down and read verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorted according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? So, I mean, you are who you hang around. So, if you want to truly strive to be better and truly strive to be a submissive woman, you're going to hang around women that are provoking you to do better. And you're going to also hang around women that's doing better than you. So, you can learn from them and take tips and take notes. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people think it's intimidating. I want to sit to some women that's really got their stuff together. Do you hear me?
Yes.
I want to
Like,
learn from
girl, how
things.
did you do that? How do you
And
it like, oh my goodness. It's an honor to be around sisters like that. You just shut up and take it in. Like, shut up and just sit and listen.
sometimes it ain't always easy. You feel like you might see things different. You might have a little rebuttal, but at the end of the day, I'm taking it in. At the end of the day, I might be like, well, I'm taking it in though. I'm taking it in. It's
Mm-hmm.
soaking in. It's in my spirit. It's in my mind. So calm.
Because everybody's husband is different. So it's certain things work for your household that might not work for another household, or things like that. But you get the meat and the bones.
Spit out the bones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bones you discard. Okay, so for me, I really feel like the way we can start some tapping into our submissive nature is taking time to learn you. Take time to learn yourself. The same thing like you were saying, Abarriyah, just knowing who you are, because when you know who you are, you know whose you are. And like a worldly proverb would say, you gotta know where you're from to know where you're going. So, it'll determine, what character and what spirit that you're moving in when you understand who you are. Um, Understand what you need to work on and be patient. Understand what you need to work on, because submission is a self thing. Submission is a thing where it's really about you. It's really about you. It's really not about those around you. Um, and when you can see that, okay, I can humble myself, I can lower myself, I can be okay with this happening or that happening, it becomes easier, and it helps you really become balanced and well rounded, I would say. So learn you first. Start with you, um, and seek out the Most High. So I said seek and find and ask. So you have to seek it and you'll find it. Ask and you shall receive. um, the Most High can help you do anything. Okay, so if it's something that you're lacking, something that you want to increase in, something that you feel like, oh, I need to work on this, the Lord can help you. And yes, the help is not going to look like how you think. You're going to go through things. Once you pray that prayer to ask for, Lord, help me with patience, you're going to have so many that. I know that didn't happen to sisters before. Lord, help me be more submissive to my husband. Lord, help me be more patient with my husband. And then you think you just gonna have the patience. So when it like no, trials start coming, and you start going through that fire of the furnace of adversity. That's what's going to happen. So prepare yourself. Lord, help me be prepared for the things that I'm praying for. Those are things that you want to add into your prayers as well. And then the last thing, I feel like, fight to be that example. Fight. You know, listen, try to work on it every day. If you don't fight and you don't stand for this, then who's going to do it for you? If it's something that you want to increase in, a skill that you want to develop, nobody's going to sit down and you want to learn how to do hair. Nobody's going to do it for you. You might have to invest in yourself. Don't be cheap with yourself. Invest in yourself. So you want to learn the art of submission? Invest in yourself. Go get you some books. It's a sister that has a Instagram and TikTok. It's called what is it called? I think is called Submission is Her Nature. I believe that is. Tap into that sister's platform. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm getting it right. I can't find it. But I know I seen it. It's Submission is Her Nature. I know that for sure. Let me see if I can find it. On maybe. Oh, I did. Let me see. And most I will, and I can show y'all what I'm talking about. No, submission is her posture. That's what it is. Submission is her posture. So this is the sister on TikTok. I don't know if y'all can see it. Hold on. Maybe I need to turn it down. Is that it? Okay. Submission is her posture. I don't know if y'all can see that. But tap into things like that. Like Sister Abarriyah said, get around some sisters that are on the same accord as you. Let me see if I can find her Instagram real quick before we get off of here. No, I don't see it, but I'll tell y'all her name on TikTok is Catching Up with Zakai. So it's Zakah. Catching Up with Zakai. So most high willing, y'all can tap into that. She has like a whole website, and most high willing, I can post the link at the bottom. So this is what the website looks like. Oh, hold on. Y'all, I can't. Oops. Okay. That's what it looks like. Submission is her posture. Okay. Tap into stuff like that. Pour into yourself. Take time to, I guess I would say develop and fine tune the skill of submission, because it's a learning process. I'm still learning. I think Abarriyah is still learning. So yeah. Let me see. I had one precept, and most high willingness fits into what I'm saying.
I was talking, girl. I was muted. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm definitely still learning. Me and my head been together 2 years, but I just moved in. We just got our place. So living with him is totally different than being long distance with him. So I'm definitely still learning. I definitely still have my things that I struggle with and I fall. Um, and I wanted to read this precept, Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to the world to this world, But be let me start at 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahawah, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Yahawah, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahawah. So, like I was bringing out earlier, I think an important part of like tapping into our submissive nature, is truly putting off the old woman and not being conformed to the ways of this world, not doing what everybody else does, truly being that light, and it's making your body live in sacrifice, because you might be dog tired. You might be dog tired, exhausted, but your husband actually do something. You have to make your body live in sacrifice because you're doing it. You're doing it unto the Most High. You might be dog tired, but you have to change your baby's diaper or put your baby to bed, and that's part of your duty unto Yahawashi, being a mother and trainer of the children. You're making your body live in sacrifice, submitting to the will of the Most High, because the Most High says train up the children. Well, you have to train up your children. You might be exhausted, but you have to do it, making your body live in sacrifice. So, um, I think something that's important also that makes me think of how we could tap into our submission nature is being humble. You have to be willing to make your body live in sacrifice. You have to be humble. You have to be humble. It's not gonna work if you ain't humble. You have to understand that we're nothing but dust and ashes. Genesis 18:27. But Con, that's all I had.
So the last precept I had was Romans chapter 15, verse 4. Um, and I'm gonna say this before I read that. Get into the word. We have many accounts of our foremothers that are beautiful, that show submission. Get in your word, read about your foremothers. Those things strengthen me through the spirit to help me, and I'd be like, you know what? Let me be as Abigail. Let me be as Hannah. Let me be as Sarah. Let me be, you know, you gotta think about those sisters, and be like, you know what? This precept right here is gonna help me endure through. This precept right here is gonna help me because this, she did it. I can do it. No, so this is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So, these things were written for us for our learning. So Colin, get into the word. But
Come on.
Desi,
And since we talked about the artist mission, I'm gonna get this definition of art, and that'll be it: the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting, sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for the beauty or emotional power. So I just really like the first part. It's the expression or application of a creative skill and imagination. So we're basically the art of submission. We're applying this skill. We're applying this skill by moving in ways and behaviors that's pleasing to the Most High. How about Shemel Shai? So Lord willing, sisters got edified. Lord willing, this was a good episode for y'all. We enjoyed it as per usual. We love y'all. Keep enduring and comment in the live chat. Tell us y'all thoughts on submission, what y'all think, why is it important? The art. What? Just let us know what y'all think.
Colin, I would say, comment down below the sister that you are one of our foremothers, or even if you want to shout out a sister that that you might be learning submission from, a sister that is a shining example in your life. So, Colin, I hope sisters have a beautiful week through the Spirit, and Most High willing, y'all can meditate on these precepts throughout the week and sharpen up on your art of submission. I love y'all.
We love y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.